This is probably the biggest moneymaker. We cannot ignore it. Cannot ignore it anymore.
Cut the fluff though, and we'll just give them
what
the
we're
cheat
all about.
codes. Okay, so
Your socials must reflect what you stand for. What is it that you offer? How are you different than the next studio? Why do you actually exist in the first place? So one really tactical thing I want you to do, take away from this, is like...
So there's actually a process. So you're saying there's a process that we go to.
Exactly.
To turn someone who is a copywriting rookie to making a sale a day. So how long does that
Takes
take?
7 days.
So you're saying someone, in 7 days, they go from
They're doing
relying on an agency to launching their own ad and making their own sales?
Every day.
With as few words as possible. How to go from 2 to 3 leads a week
Yeah.
to 2 to 3 leads a day based on what he's working with right now in the academy. What are those things?
So
The big thing that we want you guys to grab onto is just... All right, guys, we're back. We're going to talk about what's working right now in the academy, what everyone, all our listeners need to understand, what they need to know about. I want to go through our benchmarks, okay? Because we meet a lot of people every single week. They come knocking on our front doors. They're not sure if they're doing well or not. So let's just give them what our benchmarks are so these guys can rate themselves. Our listeners can rate themselves across these the benchmarks. And then can you give some tactical shit away?
yeah,
Help the brothers and sisters out.
I'll absolutely help a brother
And you,
out.
Benny, I want you to like fucking tell the people where most mistakes are made.
Let's do it.
Does that work?
That works. Yeah.
What else?
This is going to be definitely based on exactly what I would prepare and present to our academy every single month. We do industry cheat codes workshops. So this is like hot off the press, benchmarks and what's working well across hundreds of different businesses in all of the different concepts. So you'll walk away with like very actionable things. What they love about these sessions that we wanted to bring to you guys is just knowing where your position is, because the worst part about sometimes owning your own business is not knowing where other people are up to or what you should be aiming for.
Yeah. Let's cut the fluff though, because our listeners love that, right? And we'll just give them
That's what
the
we're all
cheat
about.
codes.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do it.
So where do you want to start?
Well, why don't we talk about benchmarks first
Yep.
and then rate yourself, and then we'll go through what's working well for each of those benchmarks.
Right. Before we start, you're listening to this if you're in the car, if you're mid-set, if you're doing something. What we want you to do is we're going to show a graphic. If you're watching this on YouTube, we'll show it up on screen. If you want a copy of our performance KPIs, like the benchmarks to hit, message me on Instagram at hey.dozer. Just head there, hit follow, and message me the word benchmarks, and we'll send you a copy of these benchmarks. So what I want you to do is I want you to go like one by one in terms of what the KPI is, in terms of like, what's the performance KPI and what the traffic light is on each. Listeners, rate yourself across each of these KPIs, and then eventually you'll give yourself a score. This is how we run things in the academy.
Yep. Cool. So I'm trying to show it. What camera?
Go camera.
We've got to get our bearings.
Camera 4.
I don't know whether this is going to focus or not.
It might not. Hey guys, we've done this before.
We're killing it.
It's our first day.
Maybe this camera. Anyway, that's what it looks like. We'll show it on the screen.
We'll show it on the YouTube.
Anyway, okay, so guys, first one is leads, and this is all per month. So we've got 4 different categories or traffic lights. There's red, orange, green, and then blue, which is superpower in our eyes. So for leads, if you're getting less than 30 per month, or you don't know how many you're getting per month, this is paid and organic, then you're red. Orange, 31 to 60. Green, 61 to 80. And anything above 80, you're blue, superpower for lead flow. Then it gets into sales conversion rate. So if you are less than 15% from your lead into intro offer or membership, or you don't know what your conversion rate is, red. 20 to 30% gets you to orange. 30 to 40% gets you to green. That is the median in February for our academy, and 40% is the average that our academy is sitting at, and that is superpower. So 40% plus, you're golden.
So land on that, Soph. That means 40% of our clients are doing what? What are they doing?
More than 40% of our clients, but most of our clients on average are hitting 40% or more on their sales conversion rate, which means they have to spend less on their ads. They don't have to spend as much because they're getting more juice from the ones that leads they are generating.
Most of our clients are converting 40% of their leads onto a paid offer.
Onto a paid profitable offer. We spoke about shit offers on another episode. They don't have shit offers going and they're converting at 40% plus. Yeah.
Where are most of the people when they come to you? Before that 40%.
They don't even know.
What?
They're absolutely in the bin. Yeah, they don't know usually because they're not tracking it. But when they start, they're definitely well below 30%. It takes a little bit of practice to get them to a point where some of our best ones, like that's an average. They're hitting 100%. Like that was the high point per week.
Hundy.
Hundos.
So rollovers, this is probably the biggest money maker or like biggest area that you might lose money.
What's a rollover?
A rollover is when you get someone in on a paid intro offer or a trial if you're still running them. Please see Doz's shirt.
Team, can you guys see my shirt?
Fuck free
trials. Yeah, I'm wearing this shirt in, this is part of the clues about, what Sophie's about to drop in terms of the cheat codes.
So yeah, basically you've got a new human in your studio. They aren't a member yet. It's the percentage of those people who roll over into a membership by the end of their intro offer, period, trial, whatever. Just apply that to whatever it is that your concept is. So I always talk about the money being in the middle because if you do a good job on and you've marked yourself as green or even orange and above on leads and sales, then you've done the hard work. Like they're in your studio, they're there, they're ready, they want to work on themselves. Now it's time to like close them off, make sure they stay, make sure you can help them. And that's where the money is made. We don't care about really, like it's good to have a profitable offer. Perfect, pays for the ad spend. The real money is made when you can stack the subscription revenue and help these guys. Because if they leave, you can't fucking do that.
Yeah, newsflash. We're in a membership game, right?
Yeah,
we're not in an offer game.
This isn't just to get people through the door. So rollovers as well, I can't stress enough as well. Like when I look at hundreds of different sets of data, every single week we give numbers feedback to all of our $1 million studios, and the big accelerator is rollovers.
Yeah.
You can have really good leads and sales, exactly. But the moment people start getting like greens and blues on their rollovers, that's when I start to see their net growth go straight up and then eventually their record revenues.
So rollovers are the revenue accelerator.
100%. Money makers. So if you are at less than 50% on rollovers or you don't know, so that means if you had 10 people start, 2 weeks ago and now they're up for rollover and less than 5 of them stay, red. Or you don't know. Between 50 to 70% is orange. 70 to 80% is where we want you guys. And anything above 80% is that superpower blue. So just mark yourself down, traffic light yourself on that. This is a little bit of a ninja secret killer, holds or suspensions. So if you have 25% plus or don't know how many people are on suspension as a percentage, red. Orange is 15 to 24%. Green is 10 to 15%. And then anything like single digits is superpower. And that's really where we want to get you guys.
Now, this is probably the one number that most people don't know off the top of their head. They know their churn. They kind of know their sales percentages, rollovers. Once they understand how to calculate that, they know that. But most studio owners, if they're like, I've made all these fucking sales, why isn't the revenue jumping? We go straight to suspensions, because suspensions, all those holes, particularly those open-ended ones, just for a start, if you've got an open-ended suspension, that's a fucking cancel.
Big time.
Yeah? So it only counts, a suspension only counts, or a hold only counts if there's a resume date.
I think we need a new shirt. I think we need a fuck open-ended suspension shirt.
Exactly.
Well, the reality is if you've got a 30% suspension rate in your studio, and this hang up since COVID, people are still fucking talking about it. It's 2000, what year are we in?
It's 5 years ago. 5 years like last week.
Well, oh my God, it was.
Yeah. Yep.
Fuck. Shout out to all the weight I put on. Anyway. Yeah, most people that are stuck on revenue, even though they're making all these sales, we go straight to their suspensions and boom, there it is, a 30%, right?
Yeah.
Which is fucking bleeding red on our charts. That's almost like having another tax.
Yeah.
Think about it that way. Like the corporate tax in Australia, 25, 30%, right? 30% suspension rate is another fucking tax. So you take your revenue minus your tax, minus your suspension rate. That's why you're down to pennies. We want our guys to be sub 10%.
Yeah, something else I see as a mistake sometimes, people will say, yeah, I've got 250 members, 250, 250, 250. And then the maths for me isn't adding up versus their revenue. And then, total. We've got 50 people on suspension, open-ended. It's since COVID. Yeah, okay, cool. You have 200 members.
Yeah, you definitely
And so,
have 200 members.
if that's you, zero judgment, and you mark yourself as red here.
She's totally judging.
Just get rid of them because it's not going to impact your revenue.
Or just
it
give them
might
a call.
just give them a call, do the things. We've got other episodes
Have
on
we
that.
done an episode on suspensions or not?
Yeah.
He didn't text us as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So go and listen to that episode. We'll link it below for you. But the main thing there is you're really not missing out on any money. It's just a bit of a hit to the ego when you think you got 250, you got 200. So that's that one. We've got 3 left. Churn. Some people don't know what churn is. It's the opposite of retention. It's the amount of people canceling per month. We rate this as month to date, like churn percentage. So by the end of the month, you want your churn to be, if we start with the blue, superpower is anywhere less than 4%. That's elite. Industry average is anywhere from probably higher now, but 10% plus. Our median and average is anywhere from 2 to 3% in the Geronimo Academy. That's fucking wild. Like, that's not normal. Shout out to our people.
Shout out to our people.
Green is 4 to 5%. 5 to 8% is orange, and anything above 8% or you don't know is red.
Now, most people here think churn is all, or retention is all about the community. Let's just get real here for a second. It's got fuck all to do with your community. It's all about your rhythms, your operations, and it comes down to the 3 Ps, right? The processes that you have in place and how well they're playbooked, the product experience. Now, we're completely assuming that everyone listening to this knows how to run a session, right? But yeah, your product experience. And the third thing is it comes down to your people. We typically see the unity of those 3 things as an operational metric. That's where churn pops up.
Yeah. We'll get into how to fix that later as well. I have more thoughts on that. What I normally see happen when someone's got a churn problem. Yeah. So
in terms of that, like churn being at like 8 to 10%, like what that means for all the math nerds out there, there's 12 months in a year. 12 times 8 is 96. So if you are churning it at 8% or above at the start of the year, if you don't do anything about your churn and don't put anyone else in, you're going to have 0 members at the end of the year. So
yeah. And that's the scary thing. It's like you started the year and you've gone, okay, so every new sale we make is just going to replace every single person we've got. So our only growth month really is December. From January to November for nothing.
Yeah.
And you've got 1 month.
Yeah, that's another way of looking at it. If you're at 8% churn, every member in is just a member out. Nothing's going to happen.
Which is why it's exhausting.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of, so net growth. So if you are at 0 or negative net growth is memberships minus cancels for that week. So 0 or negative is red. So net growth. So if this is monthly net growth, so if you are at 0 or negative growth, so you're going backwards for the month, then you are red. Just for anyone who doesn't know, net growth is your number of memberships sold or people that rolled over and started or will start an auto pay minus the cancels. 1 to 9 for the month is orange. 10 to 18 is green, and 19 plus is superpower. I think a really underrated, like that green, it's a really underrated rate of growth just to have like 3s and 4s every week, 3s and 4s. That's what most people actually need when we break it down to hit their big dream numbers. So
yeah, that's what we call the green line, right? When we do the calculator internally, when people come to us and they're stuck, we would consider stuck being at the same revenue or member level for 2 months or more. So if you're hearing this and you're like, holy fuck, 2 months, I've been at the same number for fucking 12 months or 2 years, definitely reach out, or at least just take what we're about to tell you and like execute like an animal on this. But green, which was, what's the number again for green? If you're
10 to 18,
which basically boils down to net 3 a week. You want to be going by net 3 a week. That's what we would consider you being on a healthy green line, a healthy growth number.
And then the last one is net profit. So red is 0, negative or don't know. 1 to 14% is orange. 15 to 30% is green. 30% plus is superpower. And most people we meet, they're red.
Yeah. So listeners, you should have, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 colors you've given yourself. If you've got any reds on there, then that's probably why it might feel like your business is a bit stuck or slow. If you've got a lot of oranges, orange businesses are stuck businesses. Businesses are stuck businesses. If you've got a few greens, you've got some really good areas in your business that aren't the issue right now. And if you're all blues, then fucking you'd be flying. You'd be absolutely flying.
Well, yeah, and the gangster move is to get to green or blue and you're not doing it all yourself.
Correct. So let's go through these. How do I get into the green or the blues based on what's working right now with all our data?
I want to start off by saying, and I said this to our academy as well, like action is the only way to traction. Like you have to have a bias for action and just like actually do something with it. I talk a lot about we will over contextualize and intellectualize why we're not where we want to be. A really simple example, unrelated to gym, but maybe it's going to help you like go, oh fuck, where am I doing this in my business? Is like, as soon as you go, oh, I'm so tired, I'm just not sleeping well. Like it's not well. Like I just don't know what to do. Everyone will be like, well, oh babe, I've got this magnesium spray and like this lavender oil and all this shit. But no one will actually just go, why don't you just stop scrolling for 3 hours at night? Just do the basics.
Yeah.
And actually if you just were honest with yourself about doing that one thing, then you would probably start a bit of a flywheel of like momentum with all of the other things. And it applies to every single area of life and business. Moving towards execution of your plan, your problems, and working with a specific strategy, getting into deep work, that is the only way. That is the only way. And also avoiding surface level execution. I think a lot of the time we'll be like, yep, tick, 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 I've done this. I'm so productive. Like I've done some emails and whatever. You've not actually gone deep. And is it working is the next question. It's not just that I've installed that process. Is it working? So that would be the first thing, that it doesn't really matter what I tell these guys or like you listening to the pod if you don't do anything with it. That's the first place to start. In terms of the first metric, so lead flow, there is so many shifts happening at the moment, and this really almost symbiotic relationship here with socials, organic and paid. We cannot ignore it anymore.
It's the same thing now, guys. If you're still sitting around thinking 2 paid leads, but everyone's coming through organics as if it's like separate things, that is 2020. Right now, it's the same fucking thing. It's the messy middle. It's the 7-11-4 principle, which we've talked about a lot of. It's like people, particularly if you're going after those 31-year-olds, 32-year-olds, they're the millennials. 84% of millennials do not trust ads anymore. So what'll happen is they'll see an ad or they'll hear about it, they'll swipe out and they'll look at your Instagram. If your Instagram doesn't match what you're talking about, then you lose a sale.
Yeah. Your socials must reflect what you stand for, who you stand for, what you're all about, and being really specific with that. Not just specific with have a mum on there if you've got a mum ad running, but it's also like, what is it that you offer? How are you different than the next studio? Why do you actually exist in the first place? So one really tactical thing I want you to do, take away from this, is like, if you don't already have a pinned reel on your Instagram that shares why you opened this thing in the first place, who you are, what you're all about, and what your mission is, do that. Just do that.
Wow, that's a good one. That's really tactical.
Yeah. And especially if you don't know why you exist and why you're different, figure that out first. But if you do know, then your job is to make sure your leads know, because it doesn't matter how amazing like you think you are or you actually are, if your leads don't eventually realize that and think, oh, thank God this place is for me, then you're just doing it the hard way.
Yeah.
So it's not just a pinned reel, but it's going to be consistent content that is bingeable. We've spoken about that before. That is adding value. That is a bit controversial. Like you should be repelling people with your vibe, because that means you're going to attract the right people as well. The second thing on that is like pain sells. The algorithm will always change. So pleasure might sell next month, but right now,
it won't.
Getting
it's
in
like,
deep
pain's always
on pain, it needs to be sharp and it needs to be specific. So vague messaging, unclear avatars, and like really just surface level points are going to be a waste of your ad spend.
So
instead, the best performing ads, like they're gut punching headlines. There's a really clear avatar in the very first line. The pain points are called out immediately, but you really need to make sure your avatar is feeling seen enough that they keep reading. Then they go to check your Instagram and it's very consistent messaging there. That is what's working well right now. And if your lead has to think about whether this applies to them or not, they'll keep scrolling. People are lazy. They have a short attention span. They don't need to, because they're going to get marketed to again and again. A quick little audit on that is like, make sure your headline calls out the avatar, make sure the first line of your copy calls out the avatar, and reaffirm the identity that they have or the problem they need solving. Something else that I'm seeing for paid ads is like, don't have negative space in the first 3 lines. It's a really bad waste of real estate there, because if you want to increase the amount of people that click to see more and read your ad, you need to make sure that you're inviting them in and you're actually like giving them a reason to keep reading. And that gut punching headline. So it's not like, want to get fit with our 28-day kickstart. I'll give you some examples for that. Last thing, include why you exist. Like I have amazing conversations with our studios all the time, like we're the only gym in our area that doesn't focus on weight loss. Great. Where is that in your ad? Let's fucking like shout that from the rooftops. Be proud of that. If we go a little bit deeper, this is really tactical, but like clear first line, specific, emotionally charged, and calling out the avatar. So for examples, what I would avoid is, and what I mean by having a clear avatar is, it's not male, female, 18 to 45. That's like trying to go after me, a Gen Z female who wants something very different than Doze, who's 40-something-year-old looking for longevity, rather than I'm probably looking more for community. We're going to have different pain points. Even like if it was Ben versus Dozer, probably different pain points. Ben versus like your wife, you're going to be different, even though you're both busy parents. It's like very different.
Putting busy in, is that a hack?
Fucking hate that. Like, please stop doing that. I hate it. They know they're busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like busy parents isn't an avatar.
That's not enough of a pain point, is that what you're saying?
Well, it might be a pain point for them, but it's not like how we should be labeling them, because the next thing you're going to tell me is, oh, they're too busy to pick up the phone. Like, so shock horror. So clear first line. For example, mums, are you fed up feeling like shit every day? Dads, has your energy disappeared faster than your hairline?
Jeez, I just felt attacked.
If you avoid mirrors and hide in photos, this is for you. See, that's actually
better.
like really calls
That's
out
better.
rather than like, we're looking for 10 busy men in the such and such area who want to get fit and feel great.
Lazy, on board.
Yeah, for example, throwaway lines like struggle to find time for you. It's time to put you first. Start your fitness journey today. Yuck.
Vomit.
Deep pain points. For example, you stare at your wardrobe, pissed off that nothing fits like it used to. You hate mirrors and catching glimpses of yourself in photos. You run on caffeine and crap food. You watch your kids run and play, but couldn't join in even if you wanted to. You guys know exactly who I'm talking about right now. Not these generic ones. You don't feel as good as you used to. You wish you had more energy.
Results
You want to make a change, but don't know where to start. Like, it's so generic.
Just join the queue.
It's so generic. Like, do better.
Yeah.
Gut punching headline. For example, train 4 times a week but don't look like it. Let's fix that. Mums, your kids see you as a superhero. Let's make sure you feel like one. Your best years yet aren't behind you. They're ahead, but only if you take action. Your body isn't the problem. The plan you've been following is. Let's get your results. Not ones like this, boring. Make a commitment to yourself today. Like, it just sounds like an ad.
So just to land this, these are the exact creatives and copy that people around Academy are using to hit a sale a day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. They're hitting a sale a day, 40, 50% conversion rates. Like, this takes effort. You've got to test it. You've got to make sure you've got the right avatar.
Okay,
You've got to have
but
copy.
This sounds fucking hard. This sounds hard. So if I'm like, studio owners out there, they're teaching people how to do a downward dog and a fucking deadlift, right? Like, they might not be a copywriter. That sounds hard.
Okay, well, I would firstly say, like, if you've marked yourself as a red, I would argue that is harder than figuring this out, this skill.
Yeah,
and
not getting leads is pretty fucking
yeah,
hard.
like, being broke is fucking hard. It's actually not. Like, my favorite moment when we get everyone started in the Sale a Day Accelerator is that they realize how much knowledge they actually have. You don't need to be a copywriter. You just need to know your avatar. You just need to
all
know
those
what they're
headlines
going
that
through.
popped, like, who wrote them? You?
Yeah.
Did you write them?
No, like, it was a little bit of what did the members say, a little bit of what did the studios say, and a little bit of chat GPT. Fucking love that.
So there's actually a process. So you're saying there's a process that we go to
Exactly.
to turn someone who is a copywriting rookie to making a sale a day.
They go from, I'm so bad at tech, I'm like not good at this, I'm not a marketer, to like writing coming up with their own offer, running ad copy for it, and making sales from that ad.
How long does that take?
It's a beautiful thing.
Because it's like they don't have 4 years to do a marketing degree. So how long does that
Takes
take?
7 days for them to put their campaign together, and then depending on how good they are, how experienced they are on the phones, following the process.
You're saying someone, a gym owner, can learn to run their own ads,
Or
write their own offer.
Or a yoga studio owner.
Yeah. In 7 days, they go from
They're doing it.
relying on an agency to launching their own ad and making their own sales.
Every day. We're helping people launch every day. And yeah, I think it's a really cool moment. But the thing is, like, if you're listening to this and you're the one that's going, oh, this sounds hard and like I could never do that. Yes, you could. Like, do you know your members? Do you know how you help them? And do you like have conversations with these people all the time that get kind of deep, like accidental therapy a little bit sometimes?
Yeah.
Great. You've got all of the golden nuggets you need. So yeah, that's what's working well, is like pain sells and making sure that we've just got some structural things right and some really gut punching copy to get people's attention, get the right people's attention, get them to keep reading and then take action. And when they get to your Instagram, they understand who you are, why you exist, and why they should go there and not down the road.
Perfect.
It's also why they're going to pay you more than a free trial. See, those are the shirt.
Fuck free trials.
And then the second part of that for your lead flow is your creative. Everyone asks me what kind of creative is working really well at the moment. So I will say video still is leading the way.
It's never been like that. Like up until, like we've done this for 10 years now. It's only up until about a year ago have we seen video overtake stills for doing better on creatives. But why is that? Like, let's dig into it, because there's not enough to just go videos. Like what kind of videos? Because we've seen some shit videos.
There's a couple of reasons. It's how we are consuming content now. We don't really look at graphics and find them interesting. We want to be entertained and we want to be drawn in. So especially when you've got videos that look a bit more native to the platform. It's much more likely someone will give you the time of day to stop rather than scroll because it doesn't look like an ad. It looks like it's something that's come up on their feed. The second thing is people love people. They want to feel connected. That's why, like, you think about it, there's so many people who have these parasocial relationships with influencers who like sell all this shit and like whatever. It's because people buy people. They like to feel connected to something. When they see someone's face or see someone who they can relate to, or they feel like they are getting to know them and become acquainted to, in line with the 7-11-4 principle we've talked about at length, which is like how people are getting to know you, the touch points they have with your brand. Video is the best way to do that, because if they think that they've spent 7 hours on average with you, they feel like you're their friend. That's why it works. And
in one word,
you can't do it with a graphic.
Yeah. In one word is trust.
Yeah. Great. Love the summary. Okay. So your messaging first up needs to be cohesive. Please don't be lazy and have a 6-week offer on your copy, but it's actually a 28-day kickstart on your graphic because you've duplicated the ad and like it's just not aligning with messaging. It's confusing. Again, if a lead needs to work hard, they'll keep scrolling. Second thing is the video types that are working really well. So firstly is testimonials or case study videos, not too scripted. It can't be about you. Like, it's like I've got a gun to your head, like, tell me how good I am. It's really getting to know and unraveling the pain that this person was in before they came to you. So if you've got a bloke who wanted to lose the beer belly as your avatar, get someone who had a beer belly before and how that was affecting him in his life. If you've got a mum, use a mum. Okay, so that's the first thing. Hype reels tend to work pretty well as well. So you can kind of get a vibe of the studio and see what's going on. But again, if you've got like Gen Z people in the video, but you're actually going towards like older women, not going to be cohesive. Something that's working really well from a studio perspective is like actually going out to iconic landmarks in the area and filming in front of those, because it tells the world this is where we are and this is what we're close to.
And it's effort. So
something that, shout out to Sam and Jack from Wolf Strength, they have ads running for tradies at the moment and they went and did some videos in Bunnings warehouse.
Fuck
and
yeah.
it's fucking crushing it. That's gotten 75 leads when I checked the other day in 1 month, and that is superpower, headed towards superpower.
Miss your shopping now.
He knew. He guessed my voice last time.
Fucking everyone can guess your voice.
Okay. The thing I would avoid is something that looks way too polished and on brand. We've always said this, but like just be really real with yourself. Like if I see a photo of like an empty studio that might be a professional one, it might be your studio, but it's empty. Like I'm not intrigued. I'm not clicking on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, those would be the...
In summary, in dot points, with as few words as possible, 4... how to go from 2 to 3 leads a week to 2 to 3 leads a day based on what is working right now in the academy. What are those things?
Show who you are and what you're all about and your value on socials. Make that cohesive with your ad, which includes a clear avatar and deep pain. Put them in the pain. Paint a picture and make sure that your creative shows them and also is cohesive with all of the above.
Cool.
And when you get this right, you'll have results like Vivian, shout out, 2 leads, sold 1 at a rollover, hit a milestone member number today. All I had to do was target the right audience.
Shock horror.
And then the next day said plenty of leads. Frank, shout out to Frank. Day 1 of the new ads, 5 leads, 4 pickups, 3 sales. I reckon with a follow-up, I can close the 4th. Like, it's pretty incredible.
What mistakes do you see or do you hear? Shout out.
Okay, so there's a couple. One that shits me is relying on, like, AI is great. It's a bit of a buzzword right now, like AI and automations. On the way in on the sales calls, it's like, it's cool. I don't need to learn this sales script.
Because I've got AI.
I've got AI, and I've got my VA is going to do my sales for me. What do you guys think about a VA doing your sales for you?
Idiot. Idiots.
No, tell them how you really feel though.
Oh, just idiots. Just fucking pick up the phone.
Yeah.
What business are we in? We're in a relationships business. It's just not about making a quick sale. This is about keeping that person and solving a problem and being the fucking last time that person has to start again. This isn't about like making like e-commerce sales and like, let's see how many sales we can make without actually fucking helping someone.
Without speaking to anyone, yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah. Something that's come up for me a couple of times. I'm hiring right now for Geronimo. So if you're a setter or a closer or a coach, hit me up. But something I get to at the end of the interview, and I like to leave it open because I like to be sold to.
Correct.
Right? But something I know that happens all the time with our guys is they go through all the effort of running an ad and avatars and calling the lead and getting on the phone, and they don't ask for the fucking sale.
They get weird.
They just get so weird. Firstly, I love the fact that they're trying.
Yeah.
Right? I love the fact that they're trying, but You got to ask for the offer. I'm speaking to the people out there, like the younger versions of us that were in the fucking money hole. We were broke as fuck, right? You need to get the money. There is no shortage of opportunities out there. There's no shortage of money circulating around the world right now. You've got to get your piece of it, right? And you've got to back the fact that you've got the solution to someone's problem. You've just got to ask for the money.
Yeah. What are the 3 magic words at the end of a sales conversation? I feel like we can give this away.
Would you like to put that on your Visa or MasterCard?
And then what do?
Nothing. You shut up. The first person that speaks loses. Mm-hmm. Would you like to put that $299 on your Visa or MasterCard?
Is Amex okay? Sure it is.
I'll take a fucking Bitcoin if you got one.
Yeah, whatever you got.
What else in terms of mistakes from people like that don't get the lead flow that we're talking about here? Because leads isn't everything, right? I don't want to talk about leads because it's such a solvable level 1 problem. I actually want to talk about vision and playbooks and leadership. But for some reason, people just can't get off this thing. Leads.
I like talking about all that stuff as well. But if your benchmark's lit up like a Christmas tree and everything's orange and red, it's hard to have those high level discussions.
Yeah.
In terms of some of those numbers, overall, something that everyone needs to do better at, especially on the way in, but even in the academy, is tracking. Tracking, looking at the numbers, tracking them every single week, forecasting, and like chasing down, like reverse engineering a target and chasing it down. So yeah, what I'm talking about isn't about, like we need 20 more members. That's always the old, back of the napkin thing. Like, what is the number that's going to hit your targets?
Yeah.
Break that down into the run rate. What do you need to get there? And then actually have the conversation with the person doing the sales to give them their target and track it together.
Yeah.
Don't just let it happen. Like the week kind of just happens and then, we didn't hit a target again. It's like all our guys know I need 2 or 3 leads a day depending on my conversion rate to get the amount of sales I need to make a sale a day.
Yeah.
And if they're missing that, they don't let it happen like more than 2 days in a row without making adjustments or asking a question.
Yeah.
So that would be the next thing.
All right.
I've got a quick one on sales. All I'm going to say is speed to lead, 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 and then follow the fucking script.
Why aren't people following the script? Well, let me ask you, Betty, why aren't people following the script?
I think some of it is a training thing, a confidence thing. They think they can do it better their own way.
Yeah.
But ultimately what happens is they give in, they follow the script and they make an easy sale and they go, I probably should have done this all along. I probably should have listened to you guys from the start. For whatever reason, I think a lot of people, particularly in the gym industry or the fitness industry, they don't see themselves as, I'm not a salesman. I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be pushy. Okay. I just want to run some good classes with a vibey community. Well, guess what? Like if you don't learn the art of selling, like you're going to have a pretty epic empty community, right? There's some kind of, some subconscious attachment. Like I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be pushy. But as soon as they actually like run through the sales script and understand that they're helping someone and working through some pain points, that goes away pretty quickly. And they realize they're not selling, they're actually helping people.
I know it's called like sales script, but it's almost, we should almost rebrand it because it's actually how to not sound salesy. Because if you actually do the sales script properly, you're actually problem solving with people. Like you're establishing a gap, you're helping them solve that. Why now? You're helping them realize that they're actually worth enough. Like the prospect is worth enough that they should do this thing for themselves. When we do mystery shops and they fucking butcher it, it's because they spend 10 minutes talking about their new equipment or the benefits of training in altitude. No one fucking cares. It sounds hard. It sounds ugly, right? Like solve my problem. Like understand me, then solve my problem. Take me to the promised land. I think people completely overestimate how easy it is to make a sale and underestimate how drilled you have to be on that script. Now, there was not a day when we were fucked with our first gym and we needed to make money ASAP. There was not a day that went by where I wasn't role-playing with myself, listening to a sales call, watching Grant Cardone, something on YouTube, like listening to my old sales calls as replays. I fucking taped myself on speakerphone on QuickTime when people used to use QuickTime on the Mac and then listened to myself, as cringy as that was, but to audit myself. Who's doing that? Right. So if you're not making a sale a day out there and you've got one of our sales scripts, I think you can get it on my Instagram for free. I'm pretty sure there's a pinned post on my profile. And if you message script underneath it, I think it's the first pinned post, you'll get the script. My challenge to you guys out there, and even to people in our academy that aren't at a sale a day just yet, or you are, and now you're offloading it to someone else in your team, is fucking drill it every day. Any day that ends in Y, drill role play with yourself or then with someone else. The other actionable tip I'd give you right now is have the script ready. Sometimes we've called our people. Sometimes they're our best people. I'm not going to name names, but they've said, I knew it was you, and I just didn't have the script on me. Like, that is completely a variable that you can solve right now.
Yeah.
I had 5 scripts printed out, 5 copies. I was never not with one. So I had one at home, I had one at the gym, I had one in my gym bag, I had one in my car, and I had one in my wife's car. So whenever a lead came through or I got a call back from a number that I didn't know, I just assumed that was a fucking lead. How many times do we try and call our clients?
Heaps.
And they don't pick up.
Yeah.
Like, we could be a fucking lead for all they know.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah. Before they even failed the script test, they failed the test of not picking up their phone.
Yeah, 100%. Call back.
Yeah, completely. So first things first is like practice the script. You got to decide to go pro on sales. An Olympian doesn't just hop in the pool sometimes if they're a swimmer, right? Doesn't, like Michael Phelps or Torpedo didn't just jump in the pool sometimes and then just flap around a little bit. Like, there were drills every single fucking day. The other thing is, like, have your scripts. Have 5 copies, 6 copies, laminate them if you need to. Then the third thing is, for fuck's sake, call the leads within 5 minutes. Speed to lead, and then intensity in those first 3 days. Every single person that comes to us and says they're not getting their sales conversion rates and they're not hitting a sale a day just yet, when we go, great, are you calling leads within 5 minutes? They say no, right? And I understand all the reasons. I don't need to hear the reasons. All I'm saying is position yourself so you can. If they are and they're still not getting it, the next part of that is they're not calling at the right times. So fix that. I know we've talked about that ad nauseum, but you'd be surprised how many times we need to remind everyone this. So calling at the right times. And then the third piece of that is calling enough times. How many sales, roughly, are made after 7 or 8 attempts?
7 or 8
I'll ask you.
hours.
Most of them.
How many follow-ups do people do on average if they're not hitting their conversion rates?
Most of them stop after 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Can I do a free get
Go.
to these guys? We were talking about this yesterday at the coaching call. So shout out to Rhino. This is his tip. If you are really struggling with your pickup rates, you obviously follow all of those basics. Like, if you got a call right now from an unknown number, are you going to pick it up?
Yes. If I'm fucking hurting,
No, you're like, be real. You're not. You're not going to.
hang on. Are you asking me if I'm a studio owner?
No, like anyone in life, if they got a random call from a random number from wherever, just said Sydney, Australia, you're not, like, no one's picking that up. It's a trust recession, right?
Oh.
If I know who it is, because I've like seen the number, I've gotten some automations from them, then maybe if I've like requested that call. Instead, Ryan said, if you've got an iPhone, this works really well. I don't know about the rest of you widows, but if you message that person and say, hey, this is Sophie from whatever studio or from Geronimo, I'm about to call you in a minute or so. Then when you call them, your contact name will say maybe Sophie.
Maybe so.
It's just a really great way to build a bit more trust, because like even the people that we call, if they don't have our number saved, they're not calling back either. It's because it's a trust recession. Like, people don't want to be spammed and all of that shit. So yeah, I've had 2 calls this week and only one of them, I always go, they'll text me if it's important. They did. And I should have picked that call up. The other one, spam.
Yeah. But if we sort of those 2 things out, we're making money at least, right? We're making money.
There's money coming in the front door. Yep.
And for fuck's sake, track
Track.
your performance here. Otherwise, you don't know what the hell's going on. You don't know what's working, what's not working, where you need to spend your time.
Yeah.
But at this point, if they sorted those 2 things out, we're making money.
Yes.
The difference between the people in our academy who are fucking flying at 80% week on week, if they get a 70, someone's getting fired. Like, that's the level of standards. And the people who can't figure it out still and they're at 20s and 30s, what is the difference?
They're executing the full rollover flow. They've got a strong way to grab these people by the hand and walk them over the bridge of uncertainty and fear through a group induction. They've got a way to make sure that their first 3 sessions are extremely choreographed in the way that they're feeling welcomed. They know exactly what they need to be doing. They aren't trying to break world records. They get to the next session and they get to the next session, and then they're starting to build a bit of momentum. They gamify their first couple of weeks with the studio so that it actually helps them to build these habits. Like, they came to you because they had struggled with that. Like, we would all love it if we had these super motivated people. The truth and reality is, they need your help, and that's how the best studios are doing it. The biggest thing in here is like that you need to get so granular down to exactly the day and the session. How many people do we need to roll over this week to hit 80% on this wave of people? And not just because they're expiring, but because they are ready. They're showing the buying signs. They've been in for their couple of sessions. They've been asking questions. They've been loving it. And you've been nurturing them along the way. So having a weekly pipeline party, which we've spoken about before, is a non-negotiable for studios who want to hit 80%. So you can see where all of your newbies are up to. Everyone gets a little touch and a nurture that's not automated, no robots, add value, and then get really like, all right, who am I to today? What sessions are they in? And make sure that they turn up. and then have that convertible conversation. That's what they're doing. That's what they're
Two
doing.
things that don't work in terms of rollovers.
Trying to roll over on the fucking phone.
Oh, no. I was going to say trying to wait until the last day of their trial.
Oh,
That never fucking
God.
works. Yeah, roll them over in studio, in person, after
And
that
then
third or
trying to get
fourth
them
awesome session, right?
on the phone.
And then the second one is the fucking auto roll. Like just waiting, just expecting them because of
Is that illegal now?
It's illegal now, but yeah, that people will still do it. Tricking someone into a rollover because it's in the 1 point fine print contracts.
This
Don't
is
do
a
it.
PSA. Listeners, and there's more of you these days, which I'm grateful for. If you're doing an auto roll,
Just stop.
just stop it.
Yeah, A, it's illegal, and B, everyone's going to churn out anyway.
Yeah. There you go. There's a couple of mistakes. It's 1, waiting to the end of their trial. 2, not rolling them over because there's an auto roll. But 3, please don't try and do this over the phone. A lot of the sales principles do apply here, but this is big on relationships. The first ingredient required to roll someone over is a fucking relationship. If you're trying to get someone on the phone to sell them a membership no one wants, that's hard mode.
Yeah. So like take a step back. If you've been paying attention, you asked me why not get a VA to make a sale. Picture this disaster, which we see a lot of. VA tries to make a sale, an auto roll, right? And
With no onboarding.
with no onboarding and an open-ended suspension policy. If you hit those 3 things,
Oh, it's like 3 red crosses.
Yeah.
it's good luck, right? So why don't we just do the complete opposite of that? Have a really epic relationship-based sales process from the start, bringing your ideal members in because you've got 100 of them anyway. So let's just get 100 more of the best ones that you've got. Bring them in the right way. Give them a world-class onboarding experience, design in a way that you indoctrinate them into your community, into the way you do things, and you future pace them and give them a massive future in your community. And then that's how you're going to generate more profitability because you've got higher lifetime value from those people. They fucking stay because like they're your people, and your best people know more really cool people. So they'll bring them in as well. So we typically see a higher referral rate. A lot of this might sound hard to people that are listening to this and going, fuck, I'm not doing any of that and I'm already busy. Like I'm not going to find another spare 24 hours within the same 24 hours that I've currently got that I can't keep up with. What's your answer to that?
I'll throw a safe on this one.
Well, if you're already doing long hours every single day and you're not where you want to be, you're working on the wrong things. When people come to us, we don't try and get them to do all of it all right now. There's a sequence to it. There's a process to follow. Anyone can do it. And what we need to do is take away the shit that's not serving you or not working for you and then fill it back in with the stuff that will actually move the needle. That's what you need to be doing. It's not more, it's like the right things.
All right, so listeners, a month's going to pass either way. You're busy either way. You may as well be working on the right things. So you've heard all our benchmarks across all the different pillars of, the performance areas of your business. What I want you to do is, even if you need to go back and replay this, is actually rate yourself against them. How many reds popped up? How many oranges popped up? How many greens popped up? All the blues. And just be honest with yourselves, because ultimately it is hard work to learn new stuff, but it is harder being fucking stuck. And if you've been stuck for more than 2 months in a row, you are stuck as far as we're concerned, right? Because businesses either grow or they die. And if you think you can just chill at this level, I've got news for you.
Dead wrong.
Your competitors are going straight past you. They're going straight past you. So definitely rank yourself against those things. And once you find out the area that is holding you back the most using theory of constraints, work on that first. 90 minutes a day in your deep work for 90 days straight, you work on that one thing that's holding you back and fucking confront it, right? There's plenty of stuff that we've given away for free. Previous episodes are on my Instagram, or we've got some lead magnets flying around. Do as much as you can for free, but ultimately you'll get to a point where, we're going to need to put the turbojets on. Then that's when you can definitely reach out to me on Instagram at hey.dozer. Ultimately, the big thing that we want you guys to grab onto is just nail the basics. Just nail the basics. I want to read out if I can. This is what you were saying, right? Preparing to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Scheduling time to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Making a to-do list for the thing isn't doing the thing. Telling people you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Messaging friends who may or may not be doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Writing a tweet about how you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on yourself for not doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Like, what's the point here, Soph?
The only thing that's doing the thing is doing the thing.
That's the end of the episode. See you in the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. If something resonated with you, then do one of 2 things. Either leave a review or send this episode to a mate who's in the industry who might need to hear this. But if you want more right now, because your head might be spinning and you're like, all right, what the hell do I do right now? Then in the show notes, you'll find a link to where you can book in for a free 15-minute checkup on your studio, where we get to have a look at how you're going right now and where some of the kind of quick win opportunities are to get you moving faster. I can't wait to be back in your ears next week. And if you're listening to this right now, I want you to know that I love you, I appreciate you, I'm grateful for you, and I'm in your corner. You are on the right track and I believe in you. So keep going, and I'll see you next week.